Welcome back to Living Local. This weekend, the Quad City Symphony Orchestra welcomes back an in-person audience into the Adler Theatre for Masterworks V, A Little Night Music. Joining us via Zoom today is Mark Russell Smith. He's the music director and conductor with the Quad City Symphony Orchestra. Mark, always great to have you.
Thank you very much. Great to see you.
So Mark, when was the last time the orchestra performed for an in-person audience?
It was the first weekend in October. As many of our listeners know, we do 6 Masterworks concerts, so 6 of the weekends, and it's usually the first week of each month. And so COVID precautions and kind of the way the climate was, the COVID climate at that time allowed us to have socially distanced audience the 1st of October. First weekend in October, and since then it hasn't, but now we're just so excited and to welcome people back into the hall.
Oh, I can imagine. Now, what health and safety precautions can in-person attendees expect?
Well, it's been, as you can imagine, very carefully thought out, with distance seating. People can buy tickets, in groups in their pods, but then they're distanced from others in the auditorium. Masks, of course, all the time. There's all sorts of precautions. I think hand sanitizers. Anyway, we're being extremely careful. We had success in October. I mean, the concerts went great, and there were no health issues whatsoever. So we're being super careful with the audience, as you can see. We're also being very careful with the orchestra. The orchestra is spread out on the stage and everybody wears masks, and it's as absolutely safe as can be. And now I think probably some in our audience and some in our orchestra have been starting to get the vaccine. So that's, even more helpful and trending in a positive way, as they say.
Yes, that's all fantastic. Now, headlining the program is Mozart's A Little Night Music. Now, while this is an extremely famous work, many people would immediately recognize this will actually be only the second time the QCSO has performed it in its 106-year history. Can you tell us more about this work?
Well, it's pretty mind-blowing, actually. It's dum bum 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 bum. I mean, it's a tune that is like ubiquitous. Kind of, it's in the classical hit parade, and it's funny because sometimes those pieces, you just think they're so ubiquitous and so overplayed, but like they haven't been, amazingly. The second time that this serenade has been played. And, maybe that's because, in a regular season with a regular full orchestra, there's just not a place in the program where it kind of fits naturally. But now that we are reducing the size of the orchestra and we're doing more chamber orchestra pieces, and pieces written for smaller orchestras like they had in Mozart's time, it just gives us the opportunity. And so it is, I saw that and like, wow, that is weird. In 100 and whatever years, this is only the second performance. I mean, that is pretty mind-blowing because that is absolutely one of the hit parade pieces. We'll start and there'll be like a knowing nod from the audience. And it's like, oh, that's that one. Okay, Eine kleine Nachtmusik. Okay, I know that one.
Well, now is the perfect time for that work. And also featured on the program is Brahms' Second Serenade. What can audiences look forward to?
Well, look, I mean, Brahms is a romantic composer who writes, big, lush melodies and just gorgeous textures. The way he uses instruments and the kind of warmth that his music projects, the warmth and humanity. And so most people are used to Brahms with big symphonies. He wrote 4 symphonies, and they're kind of some of the staple of the repertoire. But before he wrote the symphonies, he wrote serenades, like kind of little versions of symphonies. And he was kind of trying out. He was kind of afraid to write a symphony because it had such, I don't know. Well, Beethoven was the master of symphonies, and so he was following Beethoven. But anyway, these serenades, kind of for the same reason as the Mozart, a little bit underplayed. Like you don't get the opportunity to play small Brahms because the big symphonies are so famous and so popular, and so now we get to delve in this, beautiful piece written for winds and gorgeous clarinet solos, cellos, violas. I mean, it's just a beautiful, rich, you get hugged by beautiful sound. And that's what audiences can expect, just gorgeous melodies. And there's there's nothing not to love about this program because it's just tuneful and just embracing. And I think it's for the audience to come back and to be surrounded by these two wonderful serenades, I think is really fantastic.
Mark, I always love the way that you describe the experience of the music. In addition to enjoying the concert in person, digital access, of course, is also available for 30
Right.
days from the premiere. How can people purchase in-person or digital access tickets?
Well, our website is, the entry point to everything, which is qcso.org. And yeah, you can get in-person tickets and digital access, as it says there on the screen. And both experiences are great, and it just, of course, totally depends on where people are health-wise and how they're feeling about being around others. And the live experience is like nothing else. But we've really, this whole season, we've done the digital thing, and to the reviews from our audience and from our patrons is just fantastic. I mean, they love having that experience. And to have 30 days of access, is also something different than showing up for a one-time concert. So it really, either way, I think you'll get a rich experience, and I think very enjoyable.
Fantastic. Well, Mark, always great to have you on the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. See you next time.
Yes, for more information, you can go to qcso.org. We'll also have those details posted on ourquadcities.com. Coming up next on Living Local, how an upcoming scavenger hunt will put your knowledge of the QC to the test. That's just ahead.